Anybody have any idea why the Big Meech concert is canceled?
50 Cent don't ask him about it. He wish everybody the best. He has nothing to do with it.
Looks like 50 Cent just spilled the tea on how much money he threw down to shut down Big Meech's tour. And trust me, the number will leave you speechless. After all the drama between these two, 50 kept things low-key, but now he's finally breaking his silence and giving us the inside scoop straight from the source.
What's up, y'all? I woke up today and I had this overwhelming thought in my head. And I think like something is telling me to tell y'all or share this message with y'all. Cause I feel like it's somebody out here, or maybe it's just a bunch of people out here that need to hear this. And it was like, you thought you were special. You really thought you were special. Who told you you were special? You thought you were special.
Now let's break it all down, starting with the event itself. Big Meech's Welcome Back concert was supposed to take place on February 13, 2025, at the Amarant Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida. This wasn't just another show. It was a massive homecoming for Demetrius Big Meech Flannery, the legendary figure behind the Black Mafia family, or BMF. For nearly 2 decades, his name was synonymous with power, wealth, and controversy. His criminal empire stretched from Atlanta to Detroit and beyond, making him one of the most talked about figures in hip-hop and law enforcement circles alike. The concert was designed to honor Meech's return to the world after serving nearly 20 years in prison. Originally sentenced for illegal substances, teaking, and running a criminal enterprise, Meech's story became legendary, inspiring the hit TV series BMF, which was filmed in Atlanta. With his release, the music industry and his supporters wanted to give him a hero's welcome, and this concert was meant to be the ultimate celebration of his legacy.
I got a text from some very credible dudes who said they pressed 50 to take down all the Big Meech posts, right? Once again, I got the text, I read it out loud.
As mentioned earlier, the event wasn't going to just be any concert, it was set to be a who's who of hip-hop royalty. Some of the biggest names in the game were set to perform, including Lil Baby, Rick Ross, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Kodak Black, Moneybagg Yo, and Boozy. The promotion leading up to the concert was insane. Everywhere you looked, social media, interviews, industry circles, people were buzzing about this event. Artists were hyping it up, calling it a historic moment in hip-hop. Fans from all over were making travel plans, buying tickets, and gearing up for what was supposed to be an unforgettable night. In the days leading up to the event, excitement only grew. There were rumors of surprise guests, special performances, and even the possibility of Meech himself addressing the crowd. So you can pretty much guess that it was the ultimate way to let the world know that Big Meech was back. Then, just hours before the concert was set to kick off, everything fell apart. The Amarant Bank Arena made a shocking announcement on social media saying that the concert was canceled due to unforeseen circumstances. No further explanation, no warning, just like that. One of the most anticipated hip-hop events of the year was gone. Fans were outraged and confused. Ticket holders flooded social media with questions, demanding to know what had happened. People who had traveled from different states were left stranded. The artists themselves seemed just as blindsided, with some taking their own platforms to express their frustration. And that's when the rumors started flying. One of the biggest rumors floating around involves Lil Baby, and 50 Cent wasted no time throwing shade about it. According to Tony Yayo, Lil Baby showed up in a Ferrari truck, pockets full of cash, but didn't actually contribute anything to the event. Now, this is where things get messy. The way Yayo tells it, Meech had some expectations. Maybe he thought Baby would drop a bag to help support the event, or at the very least, gift him something to mark the occasion. After all, Rick Ross allegedly came through with gifts, so maybe Meech was expecting the same treatment. event. But Baby didn't come with anything, and that reportedly didn't sit right with Meech. 50 Cent didn't hesitate to call it out, questioning why Lil Baby would be expected to hand over money in the first place. His take? If Meech made millions, he should have saved something for himself instead of expecting others to foot the bill. If Lil Baby's involvement wasn't already a mess, Boozy had his own reason to be frustrated. Word on the street is that he spent over $10,000 preparing for the concert, only for it to get canceled without any explanation. Boozy didn't hold back when talking about it. He admitted that he had to grind in strip clubs, hop from club to club, and hustle just to cover his expenses. And he didn't just bring himself. His crew was rolling deep. He booked hotels, arranged transportation, and made sure his family was set, all for an event that never even happened. To make matters worse, Meech reportedly didn't give Boozy any explanation for why the concert was scrapped. Imagine spending thousands of dollars only to be left in the dark. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, 50 Cent stirred the pot even more. He put out a cryptic post hinting that the event was doomed from the start because artists were dropping out left and right. He specifically called out Lil Baby, Skilla Baby, and I Swear Vizo, suggesting that none of them were actually planning to show up. If that's true, then it looks like the entire event was already crumbling behind the scenes, and the cancellation might not have been as sudden as it seemed. If you think things were already bad enough, wait till you hear what's coming, because apparently 50 Cent just revealed that Big Meech was expecting artists to perform for free. Yeah, you heard that right. When word spread about Meech's early release, some artists seemed down to celebrate the occasion. Remember when Sexy Red tweeted, "Where the welcome home party at? I'm trying to perform for Deffy." That sounded like she was all ready to hit the stage with no check involved. But was Meech expecting that same energy from other artists too? That's where things got messy. Rumors started swirling that some big names were lined up to perform at Meech's February 13th concert, but when their teams realized there was no money on the table, they backed out. Now, in the rap game, loyalty is big, but business is bigger. Even if an artist wants to show love, their management label and entire team have to agree. And let's be real, no manager wants to hear free show when their client regularly rakes in 6 figures per performance. So, did Meech fumble the bag by assuming artists would just show up for free? Or was it just bad business behind the scenes? Either way, 50 Cent wasted no time clowning the situation. The moment the concert got canceled, he jumped on Instagram, making fun of the whole thing. And it didn't stop there, because at this point, it's clear that 50 isn't just throwing shade. He's on a mission to take down Big Meech's reputation and financial standing. And guess what really set 50 off? Meech linked up with Rick Ross back in January 2025. Yeah, that Rick Ross. The same one who's been beefing with 50 for years. So when Meech popped up in a video with Ross promoting his big concert, 50 took that as a straight-up betrayal. And you already know 50 wasn't going to let that slide. He hit Instagram immediately, throwing shots and calling Meech a rat. He even posted a picture of a rat with a caption, "I think I'm Big Meech," a direct jab at rumors that Meech may have cooperated with the feds. And he didn't stop there. 50 brought in 1090 Jake, claiming he had paperwork proving Meech snitched. Then, he dragged Tammy Cowens into the mix, hinting that she had dirt on Meech too. It was nonstop. But Meech wasn't having it. He clapped back saying, "I wasn't going to address this because I'm not trying to let nobody trick me off the streets, but I never folded, never told, never will. Death before dishonor, always with me." That should have been the end of it, right? Wrong. Because now 50's beef isn't just with Big Meech, it's dragging in Lil Meech too. And this is where things get really complicated. For years, Lil Meech was just known as Big Meech's son, but 50 Cent changed that. He saw potential, put him through acting classes, made him the star of the BMF series. He built Lil Meech's career. But once Big Meech got out of prison, things shifted. Lil Meech naturally wanted to be around his father, but that meant hanging around with people 50 doesn't rock with, like Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather. And in 50's eyes, that's disloyalty. So what did 50 do? He hit Instagram again, this time leaking private messages from Lil Meech. In one of them, Lil Meech sounded hurt and confused, saying, "They just told me you unfollowed me off Instagram, and now you're managing Skilla Baby with Rocket when I brought him around you first. Now you mad at me, bro? I would take the shirt off my back for you. Ross only gave my dad some bread so he could pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life." And 50? Being as ruthless as ever, responded with just 3 words. "What next season?"
Okay, let me read this text right here. So this is Lil Meech.
That's it.
They just told, this is 250 Cent. They just told me you unfollowed me off Instagram and now you managing Skilla Baby with Rocket when I brought him around you first, when you didn't have a clue who he was. Now you mad at me when I would take the shirt off my back for you. I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty I'm human. I go through my own shit, but I never switched up on you.
That's when it hit. 50 isn't just trolling Big Meech, he's making it very clear that the BMF series, the show that made Little Meech a star, might be in jeopardy too. Now, we're not stopping there because 50 Cent has more tea than ever, and he's serving it up with no hesitation. At this point, it's not even just beef. It's a full-scale humiliation campaign against Big Meech and Little Meech. 50 isn't just calling them out, he's their entire legacy through the mud, making it his mission to turn them into the biggest laughingstock in hip-hop. And whether there's any truth to these money troubles or not, one thing is certain, 50 is winning the internet. Fans are eating up the drama, watching in real time as 50 systematically dismantles the BMF family's reputation. For some, it's shocking to see this level of disrespect aimed at Big Meech, a once feared name in the streets. But those who know how 50 operates, they just see this as another day in the life of Curtis Get Rich or Die Tryin' Jackson. Because let's be real, this is what he does. From day one, 50 has built his entire brand on warfare. Whether it was Ja Rule, Rick Ross, or even Jay-Z, one thing stayed constant. If you cross 50, he's coming for you full force. No hesitation. And no way out. And now, Big Meech and Lil Meech are the latest victims. But 50 isn't just throwing petty insults. He's hitting it where it really hurts. He's pushing snitching allegations about Big Meech, throwing out rap memes, and even using AI-generated trolling videos to keep the internet engaged. But the most brutal hit? He's threatening to shut down the BMF TV series, a show that not only tells the Black family story, but also brings in serious money for Meech's people. If he follows through, that's a major financial blow, and Lil Meech is feeling the heat too. You'd think after everything 50 did for him, paying for his acting classes, giving him his first major role, literally making him the face of BMF, that they'd be on good terms. But the moment Lil Meech started hanging out with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather, 50 took it as betrayal. And 50 doesn't do betrayal. His response? Public humiliation. He leaked private texts between himself and Lil Meech, letting the whole world see their entire fallout. And if that wasn't enough, 50 took the pettiness to a historic level by creating a GoFundMe. Yes, an actual GoFundMe to help Big Meech pay his bills. The goal? A disrespectful $10,000. Then he blasted the link all over Instagram, making sure everybody saw it. Fans went crazy, racking up over 50,000 likes on the post. Some were laughing at the stunt, while others were seriously wondering if Meech is struggling financially. But 50 wasn't done yet. He started dropping AI-generated memes, mocking Big Meech and Lil Meech, claimed that he had to send Lil Meech to rehab, and let it be known that he's bailed him out multiple times, basically saying they owe him. At this point, 50 wants the world to believe that the BMF family is down bad, struggling to stay afloat, and relying on Rick Ross just to keep the lights on. And the worst part? It's working. But this isn't just about ego, this is 50 Cent's playbook in action. He doesn't just beef, he destroys. He uses every weapon at his disposal. Street tactics, business moves, media power, whatever it takes. And the wildest part? It always works. Look at his track record. Ja Rule, career dead. Rick Ross, still catching strays. Young Buck, financially ruined. The Game, spent years trying to claw back after 50 shut him out. And let's not forget, 50 once said the business world is worse than the streets because it'll rob you without you even realizing it. Ross even tried to wave the white flag for business purposes. But 50, he's never letting up. The history between these two has been nothing short of relentless warfare. From the moment 50 exposed Ross's past as a correctional officer, it was game over. Ross tried to brush it off, but 50 kept pressing, making sure the entire world knew that the so-called biggest boss had once worked as a prison guard, something that completely shattered his street credibility. But here's the thing, Rick Ross isn't the only one who's been caught in 50's crosshairs. If you think 50 just stops at one enemy, you don't know 50 Cent. He's always got another target in mind, and if he can embarrass multiple people at once, even better. Just look at his long-standing tension with Jay-Z. That's been brewing since 50 first stepped onto the scene. It started with How to Rob, where 50 dissed half the industry, including Jay, and it never really stopped. One of the most infamous moments, when 50 showed up uninvited at Jay-Z's Screamfest 2007 performance, standing right there on stage, making Jay, Kanye, and T.I. all visibly uncomfortable. 50 plays it off like it's just competition, but let's be real, there's way more to it. Even years later, When anything happens in Jay's world, somehow 50 finds a way to insert himself into the conversation. And this isn't just speculation. He flat out admits it. When news of Jay-Z's lawsuit drama surfaced, 50 immediately jumped in, claiming, "Oh shoot, now that I think about it, he must have been dealing with that for a while." Then he took it a step further, throwing shade at Jay's marriage, saying, when he signed that contract, the marriage contract, the trophies started rolling in. He started getting Grammys left and right. That's classic 50, turning every situation into a reason to clown someone, especially if it's someone as big as Jay-Z. And then, of course, there's Kanye West. Now, 50 doesn't come at Kanye the way he does with Ross or Ja Rule, but best believe he knows how to use Kanye's mess to his advantage. He's strategic with it, never fully picking a side, but always making sure he's part of the conversation. Anytime there's drama between Jay-Z and Kanye, 50 slides right in, commenting, throwing subtle shade, and keeping himself relevant without ever having to take a direct hit. He understands that staying in the mix is key to longevity, and he plays that game better than anyone. And that right there, that's 50's greatest weapon. He's a master at flipping minor situations into headline-making beefs. He knows how to use social media trolling, how to dig up past dirt, and how to pull up uninvited just to make things uncomfortable, all in the name of keeping himself at the center of the conversation. And right now, the Meech family is learning that the hard way. But if you think the Meech family drama is where it ends, you clearly haven't been paying attention. 50 Cent doesn't just end feuds, he lets them simmer, boil over, and then brings them back to life whenever it suits him. Because for 50, there's no such thing as old news, just unfinished business waiting for the perfect moment to resurface. Take G-Unit, for example. What started as a powerhouse rap crew turned into a battlefield with Lloyd Banks, Young Buck, and The Game all catching strays. 50's fallout with Banks was subtle but cold. When Banks refused to include Eminem on his solo album, 50 took it as disloyalty. But the real spectacle? Young Buck? 50 didn't just kick him out. He leaked a private phone call where Buck broke down in tears, turning him into an industry joke. And when Buck filed for bankruptcy in 2024, guess who made sure the world knew? Yep, 50. And we can't forget Diddy. Their beef started in 2006, but in true 50 fashion, it's only gotten nastier with time. From dissing Diddy on The Bomb to mocking his legal troubles, questioning his and even suggesting a documentary about his scandals, 50 has made it clear this war is personal. He's attacked Diddy's business ventures, clowned his Ciroc brand, and even used every controversy against him. And the fact that Diddy's legal troubles keep piling up, it's like Christmas morning for 50. At this point, nobody is off limits. Whether it's old enemies, former friends, or rap legends like Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, and Nas, 50 has made a career out of turning tension into entertainment. And the more you try to ignore him, the harder he comes at you. Because in his world, there are only two choices: stay in the game or get played. But what do you think? Was it 50 Cent who pulled the strings and got Big Meech's concert canceled? Or is there something bigger happening behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And while you're at it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos because trust me, this drama is far from over.